Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lauren. I do random content on my channel whenever I can. I am finally back with what I like to do, which are video essays. So I had mentioned a couple of months ago on my community tab that I was really interested in making a video essay about Descendants and High School Musical and just compare the series, the characters, the plots, and just overall talk about both series, whatever, and just give my opinion on it, especially because I feel like there's a lot I need to say regarding some characters in High School Musical and then some characters in Descendants, and overall I just know I need to make a video about this. So before we get started, I do want to preface, number one, this is no hate to any of the actors or anybody behind either High School Musical or Descendants. This is just a personal opinion that I have, and I don't know if some of you all will agree with me. I don't know if you all will. I don't know. So this is just an opinion video, and let's take it as such. Number two, I am going to be comparing all three High School Musical movies to all three Descendants movies. So all three of them will have mention in this video essay. And lastly, number three, how I plan to structure the video, just like how I do with my previous video essays, is the plot, the characters, the underlying racism, and then the ships. So anyways, without further ado, sit back, relax, get a drink, get a snack, and let's get started with the video. Because the High School Musical series came out earlier than Descendants, we're going to be starting with High School Musical. So the plot of High School Musical is literally generic for the first movie. It's about Gabriella going to a new school. She meets Troy and she has this wonderful musical adventure with all the Wildcats. It's basically Grease in a nutshell.
Sandy! Teddy!
The plot then continues as follows, where Sharpay is trying to keep Gabriella and Troy away from the drama scene because Sharpay and Ryan want to audition for the musicale, how they say it, and Gabriella's more into academics, Troy's into sports, and for some reason there's a big thing where Troy doesn't want to be just the basketball guy anymore. I don't know, they make so much reference to that and I find that so weird. And then they have literal heart attacks when people don't stick to the status quo.
I hope to make the perfect creme brulee. I play the cello.
Overall, the first movie was pretty good, and I think it set that standard to what kids thought high school was going to be like, because I know it set that for me. So we had unrealistic standards. But anyways, I really liked the movie. The first movie was really good. So now transitioning into the second movie, High School Musical 2. This mainly follows all of them right before their senior year. So we get amazing songs like What Time Is It? And basically all of them get a job at Sharpay and Ryan's fancy, bougie hotel resort that their parents own. And overall, this one was just this one. Like, character-wise, I don't know what Zac Efron was doing. I don't know, because he was jumping majority of the time, screaming majority of the time. Ah! Gabriella was crying majority of the time. Sharpay was just thriving. And then Chad and Ryan had some secret thing going on with the I Don't Dance scene, because, you know, they switched clothes after the scene, which I don't know why. But yeah, that was another thing. And then this whole movie was Sharpay and her parents trying to get Troy with these college scouts. So, like, this was the breeding ground for the college cheating scandal. Indirectly, I'm kidding, but overall, then the movie ends with all of the Wildcats coming together. Gabriella's happy again. And then they all release these lanterns into the river where fish will eventually choke on said lanterns. And then Miley was there at the end for some reason. And finally, High School Musical 3, the finale of the series. This one I think hits harder now for me because I'm a senior. And I'm probably going to do that thing where I watch the movie right before I graduate. Just to make myself cry because apparently I like doing that for funsies. But anyways, so the movie starts, of course, with it being the last, 19 minutes, 16 minutes of their basketball game and everything like that. And it goes into them creating their senior musicale. And overall, I just like the tone of it, that they're all going in different directions. They're already preparing for their senior year. And I think this one emotionally hits you harder than the prior two movies. So then it continues with Troy having his mental breakdown on choosing whether to sing or to do basketball. And apparently he gets into USC Berkeley for some reason, and then Gabriella is doing pre-law at Stanford, which I do see her going to Stanford, but pre-law? I thought she was into math and stuff. And then Sharpay has her moments in the singing. Ryan, apparently, this is the movie where they partner Ryan up with a girl, and everybody was a bit confused because everybody thought Ryan was possibly gay. So that happened also. And then for some reason, right at the end of the movie, Zac Efron is the one giving the speech. When did it occur to us that Troy Bolton was the valedictorian? Oh, and then he also has this moment. Overall, High School Musical 3 was the best out of the three movies, I think emotionally wise. And yeah, I would say that would be my favorite of all of them, if you ask me. Now, moving on to Descendants. Descendants was a bit questionable to me. I was in 5th grade when the first movie came out, I think. And then I was in 7th grade when the second one came out. And I think 9th grade when the third one came out. I'm not really sure. Or 10th grade. I'm not really sure. Anyways, so Descendants 1. Already, I didn't really like it after I found out about what happened with Ever After High. And that's just me being honest, because I was a big fan of Ever After High. So there's a bit of bias there, I do see it. But plot-wise, Descendants, we meet the kids of the Isle of the Lost, Mal, Evie, Jay, and Carlos. Evie had to be my favorite in the first movie. But overall, we meet them, and they are given the privilege to go to the royal side in Auradon, where they will be getting schooling and everything there. And that's where Mal meets Ben and everything happens, where she wants to try to steal the wand there. And yeah, that happens. I cannot forget to mention the fact that she drugs him, technically, with the cookie in order to get him to have feelings for her and leave Audrey, who at the time was his girlfriend during the movie. I'm just bringing that out there, guys. So eventually that happens, and they wind up going to Ben's coronation to be king, where the magical fairy godmother one was going to be. And they try to steal it, they almost do, and then good takes over, and they don't steal it. That's the plot of the first movie, kind of. Going into Descendants 2, I think this one was my favorite. This one was my favorite movie out of the series. Because Uma. Just simply Uma. She made the series 10 times better, if you ask me. So the movie starts with Mal kind of complaining in a way. Let me specify. she's complaining in a way because of the royal duty she has to do with now being Ben's girlfriend. And that's where we walk into something, you decide to do something in the first movie, drugging, and now you have to carry on basically what you started in the first movie. So then going into it, Mal decides to sneak back to the Isle of the Lost because she misses being wicked and everything like that. And we meet Uma and her crew. Uma wants to steal the fairy godmother's wand, and she herself, I believe, finds it completely unfair that only 4 kids got to go to the Auradon while the rest of them didn't get the privilege to. That's what we like Uma. I like Uma for that. Anyway, so they battle it out, mainly Mal and Uma. They battle it out. And so everybody else comes running in. Evie comes running in. Jay, Carlos, and then Ben joins them for some reason. And then Ben gets kidnapped. And he ruins that one good song between Mal and Uma. Like, it was just, why did he ruin it? I don't mean to be mean, but why?
Hey, we don't have to choose.
I'm telling you all, he ruined the song. It was so good until then. After trading Ben for the fake fairy godmother wand, Uma winds up seeking revenge and uses Mal's spellbook to get onto the island. And then her and Mal wind up fighting at the end. And yeah, that's that. And to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you all, I know Evie designed the dress, but the coronation dress, or the dress that she was wearing on the boat, like the first dress, terrible. I didn't like it. It was ugly in my opinion, but of course, that's just my opinion. So then the second movie ends off with all of them dancing on the boat with water everywhere. So moving on to the last and final movie of Descendants, which is Descendants 3. Even though there's going to be Descendants 4 in the works right now. Descendants 3 starts off with Ben proposing to Mal and they're engaged. So to be honest, I figured this is how the route we're going. And if they continue on with the 4th movie with the original cast besides Cameron, I think it's gonna end off with like their wedding or something. You get me? So a big thing with the 3rd movie that everyone knows is that Audrey is getting her revenge. I don't mind that, guys. I don't mind that Audrey's getting her revenge. Honestly, continue off, but I just know that her song was turned into memes when Wyan is getting revenge against her bullies. Audrey being a villain is a big plot point in the 3rd movie, and Hades also is a big plot point in the 3rd movie, as it's revealed that he is Mal's father and everything like that. So that's where that comes in. I think this was one of the cringier Descendants movies because I've seen everybody make fun of it on TikTok. I think this was the cringier one out of the 2nd movie and the 1st movie, to be honest with you all. Anyway, so after battles and everything, because I already know that the plot synopsis of all of these movies are taking up a long time, the movie ends with them bringing, new people to Auradon and everyone singing, having a good time. So that was the end of that. Like I said, we don't know how the 4th movie is gonna play out. A lot of fans, and me and myself also, I'm not a fan, but I don't think they should have made a 4th movie because Cameron Boyce is not gonna be in it. That's the big reason. I don't know about the rest of the cast, like Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron. I don't know if they're gonna be in it or if they're willing to do it also, because I know they have their own passion projects that they're working on. Like Slay Dove Cameron, she's having her music career. She makes great music, by the way. But I don't know if they were going to be on board for it, or who knows how it's going to work. starting off with the characters, we've got Troy Bolton. This is the character I think I make the most fun of out of everyone in the High School Musical cast. And for good reason. He's just funny, and I think he has a bit of a narcissism problem. And I touched upon this in my first movie reaction to High School Musical. That it seems like everyone treats Troy Bolton like straight up God, and that he's peaking in high school to the point where I really think that Troy Bolton in, college and adulthood, I think Troy Bolton is basically like, what's his name from 17 Again, the main character? Mike O'Donnell, because Zac Efron played the guy also in 17 Again, which I find a bit weird. During Zac Efron's prime of him being a teenager, he played a lot of basketball roles, which was High School Musical, and he did 17 Again, and I thought they were so ironic because, that could be Troy Bolton when he's no longer peaking in life and he's in his adulthood. I also just find it funny, like I mentioned, that he was having a midlife crisis about whether to sing or do basketball while flipping through the walls and everything in the third movie of High School Musical. The next character we have to talk about is Gabriela Montez. Okay, first off, I do want to say, I don't know why, but in every single High School Musical movie, they always give Gabriela the sad songs, right? Like, has anybody else noticed that? In the first movie, it was the whole, There Was Me and You. In the second movie, it was I Gotta Go My Own Way. In the third movie, I don't remember if there was one, but you know what I'm talking about, right, guys? You understand what I mean by this. They always had Gabriela sing sad songs. She never once got an uplifting song by herself, like Sharpay does. So, all the happy songs she has are with Troy. And, look, guys, I like Gabriela as a character, but I feel like she was downgraded to always being upset if Troy did something to her. She never once, got over him. She never once had her uplifting songs like Sharpay did. And, yeah, that's probably what upset me the most about Gabriela's character. That for every single little thing Troy did, she was always singing a sad song about it. Next character we have is Sharpay. We stand Sharpay in this house, guys. Sharpay, I love her character. She's very confident. She has the best songs, I think, in High School Musical. And the one thing I didn't like had to do with Troy when it came to Sharpay. I feel like with Troy, he indirectly put Gabriela and Sharpay against each other. I don't know if you all noticed that, but I feel like that happened. Other than that, Sharpay gets major character development throughout the movies, and we love to see it. I feel like that same thing should have been applied to Troy, because it seems like Troy Bolton also has his own problems, but we're supposed to villainize Sharpay. You get me? The last character we have for High School Musical is Ryan. I loved Ryan's character. He was funny. He was ultimately entertaining. But the one thing that always bothers me is that he obviously was supposed to be a gay character, or a character who is a part of the LGBTQ plus community. But in the third movie, they give him a girlfriend, while in the second movie, Chad and Ryan switch clothes. So I don't understand what the point of that little detail in the second movie has if they were going to just make Ryan have a girlfriend. Now, I do understand this was in the early 2000s, so parent watchdog groups were at their prime. So I understand why Disney went under the radar still, with Ryan being technically a closeted gay character, because Disney didn't have openly gay characters until Andy Mack in like 2016, 2017. Moving on to Descendants, we're going to start off with Mal. First off, I do not care what you all tell me. This is my opinion. So I'm going to say it, and I do not want you all to get confused with me talking about Dove Cameron. We're talking about Mal, okay? I never liked Mal's character. I never did. From the first movie, we're shown that, you know, the kids of the Isle of the Lost want to get the magic wand and bring it back to their parents. So what does Mal decide to do? She drugs Ben. Literally, that cookie, that whole love cookie, whatever it was, she gives it to Ben to make him fall in love with her when he clearly had a girlfriend, just so she can use him to get the wand. Now, before you all say anything, yes, I know he still probably had feelings for her after it got washed off in that river or something, but it still makes it wrong. Like, what are you teaching to kids? And the fact that there is no repercussion for this, what are you teaching to kids? And then, to make matters even better, when I say better, I mean worse, in the second movie, she then has the audacity to complain about how many royal duties she has to do. Just remember this, guys. Audrey, regardless on if this was an arranged marriage or something with Ben, Audrey knew what she was getting herself into. She grew up with that. Mal just waltzed on over here, took Ben, and then now is expected to do all these royal things because he's now king. And she complains a lot about it, when in reality, Audrey already knew what was expected of her. You get me? And then it gets even better in the second movie. When I say better, it means worse. When Uma gets in charge of Mal's spell book, it's seen as wrong when Uma has it. But when Mal used it to make that drug cookie, it was perfectly fine. As you can see, I have multiple reasons as to why I don't like Mal. I think Harriana Hook, the YouTuber who I've mentioned several times on this channel, I think she's made a video talking about why she personally doesn't like Mal. And I think our reasons are kind of similar, because I think both of us bring up the cookie incident. But yeah, check her out because she also makes really good in-depth videos about Descendants. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Mal. Moving on to Uma, I personally liked Uma's character. With Uma, I feel like she wanted there to be more opportunities for the Isle of the Lost kids to go to Auradon. Because I'm pretty sure in the books, it's mentioned that Uma wanted other kids to have the same opportunities that Mal, Evie, Jay, and Carlos got. And overall, the thing with Uma, I personally like her character over Mal's because, like I said, she wanted there to be some equality for all the other kids of the Isle of the Lost. And then, I don't know how else to explain it, because I just feel like Uma was a better character than Mal was. Mainly in that sense, and also, like I mentioned in Mal's situation, it was such a problem for Uma to use the spell book and make Ben to quote-unquote like her, but it wasn't seen as a problem when Mal did it. Make that make sense to me. Please, somebody, make that make sense to me. The last character we're going to talk about is Audrey. So, Audrey's character, I sympathize with Audrey. And I think I've mentioned a couple of times in my Wings Club videos that I've compared Audrey and Diaspro before. Audrey and Diaspro can be compared in several ways, mainly for the whole, they were in an arranged marriage, quote unquote, and then somebody else swoops in and takes their significant other. In Audrey's case, it's Mal taking Ben, and in Diaspro's case, it's Sky going towards Bloom. So I see where Audrey is coming from. She's jealous because here she was promised that she was going to be queen. She was ready to be queen, and it's all taken away from her with no repercussions to the person who did it to her, you know? So I get it. That's why I sympathize with Audrey as a character. Like, just think about it. You've prepared yourself for the royal life since you were little, and you've already been promised that you're gonna marry the future king of Auradon. And then what happens? Some drug cookie just comes in, and all of a sudden, all that work is for nothing. I get why she's upset, guys. That's why I sympathize with Audrey. Case closed. The underlying racism. I think this can be mainly said for Descendants rather than High School Musical, as I don't really think High School Musical had an issue among that whole situation, but in Descendants, I think it's a bit more prevalent. Now, this all goes back into what I was talking about regarding Mal's usage of the spell book and spells in general versus how it's perceived when Uma or Audrey uses it. Now, Mal's character is a white character. It's pretty obvious. Uma's character is a black character, and Audrey's character is mixed. And for those of you guys who may disagree with me on that, in the first movie, it is shown that Audrey's grandma is black. So Audrey's a mixed character. So the audience is expected to root for Mal. Bottom line, Mal is seen as a protagonist in all three of the Descendants movies. So we're expected to find it okay when Mal uses the spell book to drug Ben, but when Uma uses the spell book in the second movie to make Ben fall in love with her and bring her to Auradon on that yacht, all of a sudden it's an issue. And then Audrey seeking her revenge, it's seen as an issue when it's completely justified. I don't know about you all, but that's all I'm saying. That it just seems a little unfair that we're cherry picking who it's okay for them to do that, who's okay doing that, while with two other characters, it's completely wrong. I don't know about you all, but that's all I'm going to say about this. Moving on to the shipping, we're going to start off with Troy and Gabriella. This may be a little controversial, but they were a little bit toxic, and you cannot disagree with me on this. Just a little, because overall, I like their dynamic. I like Troy and Gabriella's dynamic, but overall, from the beginning, I think it's seen as a little toxic, as they cannot be seen with each other. And who knows, it probably was just because of the atmosphere they were in with school, and everybody's saying, oh, you can't be with her, oh, you can't be with him. That's probably what it was, and I'll cut it some slack. I feel like there's little communication with them, but other than that, they make a really cute couple, except for those minor details I just brought up. But you know who deserved more screen time? These two did. Sharpay and Zeke deserved more screen time. They were really cute with the small moments we were shown of them, and it's such a shame that we didn't get to see more of that. Such a shame. Moving on to Descendants, I think Mal and Ben did not have that good of a relationship. There was little to no communication there. and I think you all can agree with me on this, that Mal and Ben didn't have that relationship, but apparently, according to most people, he had a better relationship with Evie, and that they would make a better couple. I don't know if I see it, guys. I don't know if I see it. But I will agree that Mal and Ben, there's just something there that it doesn't click, you know? It's like every time they're on screen, majority of the time, it was them arguing a bit. Other than that, I have to say, though, that little song he sang for her when he was on The Cookie, that little song he sang for her was kind of cute. The next one I have to bring up is Uma and Harry. I think they're kind of cute together, y'all. I think they're kind of cute together. There's just something there that in the second movie screamed that I ship them. There's just something there. I think it's the song, What's My Name, that got me shipping them. But there was just something there in the water in 2017 where I was shipping them. Lastly, I have to talk about Mal and Harry. Now, forgive me for saying this, but that little chemistry that Mal and Harry had in that one scene from Descendants 2 was more chemistry than Mal and Ben had combined, at least in my opinion. And I do know the reason, because the actors, Dove Cameron and I think his name's Thomas, they were actually dating in real life. So I understand how that chemistry was there. But it makes you think on if the characters actually, like Mal and Harry, if they previously dated. I don't know, guys. I don't think it was ever confirmed on if the characters actually dated. But all I know is that one scene with the gum, that scene had more chemistry or tension than any Mal and Ben scene I had seen. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really want to make a video comparing High School Musical and Descendants together, especially because they were directed by the same director. So I feel like these franchises needed a comparison video, so I decided to go through with it. I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. It's the day after Christmas when I'm filming this, so I hope you guys were safe and had a good time with your family. Other than that, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Comment down below what else you guys want me to talk about on my channel. I'm gonna be trying to make as much videos as I can, but of course it is hard for me to do because of my schedule. But I hope you all can bear with me. You all have been bearing with me, and I'm very thankful for that. Other than that, I hope you guys stay safe, stay warm if it's cold for you guys, and I'll see you guys next time on my channel. Bye, guys!